Hi, this is Tim Prigon, and it's February 25th. It's Wednesday. And people have been asking me about Sunday because there's been some snow rumors out there. So I just want to kind of go over what the weather forecast of the global models is showing. Since it's 5 days out, we have to look at the global models, or the long range models. So I'm going to show you three tonight, and I'm going to show you the American model, which is GFS, the GEM, which is a Canadian, and then the European model. And I'm going to show you three levels. Once we get closer, I can, I'll get deeper into it, but this is just a broad brush of what's happening. So I'm going to show you the 500 millibar. I'm going to show you the vorticity, which is the spin in the atmosphere. I'm going to show you the 850, and I'm going to go over the temperatures at 850 to kind of show you why it's going to be raining or snowing at certain spots. And then I'm going to show you the surface maps. So first, we're going to start with the 500 millibar and the vorticity. And first is the GFS, okay? And as we move through time here, this is Saturday evening, Saturday night at midnight, Sunday morning. So we're going to move through the time here. And you can see this vorticity that's starting to increase around the area. And it's moving through southern Missouri, the bulk of it. And it's basically on top of us here by 10 o'clock on Sunday. And then it moves across. And you can see that it probably lasts until Sunday night and into early Monday morning. This is what the GFS would show. Okay, you can kind of see that as it moves across. This is Missouri right here. And now we'll look at the gem. The gem is a bit different. It's a bit weaker, and it's a little bit further north. This is Sunday. You can see the vorticity here, and it's more sheared out than what the GFS was. So as we move it across, you can see it's coming across, and it's bringing a pretty good, upper level vorticity across the area. About this is 3 o'clock on Sunday, and then as we move across, it basically gets out here early Monday evening, and it's further north. The bulk of it is, but it's just more sheared out, so it's not as concentrated as the American model was. And the European is very similar to the GFS, but just bit further south and a bit more consolidated. And you can see it right through here as it moves across Missouri. And it's also much slower. It really doesn't get here until late Sunday afternoon and into Sunday night. And it basically gets out of here, overnight Sunday night. So that's the vorticity, and that's the 500 millibar. It's all pretty weak, but this is strong enough to basically call what we call frontogenic forcing. There's going to be a front in the area, and the front's going to create lift as warm air gets ridden over it. And I can show you that with the 850 here in a minute. So here's the 850, and we're going to start with the GFS. And the GFS, let's go to 850 and temperature. Okay, this is 18G Sunday. This white line here is your 0 degrees Celsius line, okay? And that's right just south of St. Louis, okay? North of that is colder than 850, south of that is warmer. And you can also see a little low pressure right here. See how the winds are just turning around in counterclockwise fashion? So the GFS is the only one that has that. Thus, it's much stronger with the end solution. Okay, so let's move this along in time. You can see the low is actually getting more deeper, and temperatures right now in around St. Louis and just south of I-70 about -2 Celsius, which is good. We'll keep the snowflakes going. And as it moves across, you can see the low still moving across southern Missouri, and then it moves further off to the east. So, but as you see here, the temperatures are below freezing the whole time as the low moves across. Thus, it keeps more of a snow, sleet situation here across St. Louis, and mostly areas to the north, areas to the south, certainly a more mix and probably more trending toward rain. Next, we'll go to the European, and this is the European. This is Sunday morning. It's very close. I mean, it kind of just dances that 0 degree line across St. Louis right through there, and it never really develops an 850 low. So it's more, um, it's nebulous, I guess you could say. And it basically gives us just a mix of precipitation throughout the day. It actually kind of shows a mix to rain as this moves off to the north. So that's the situation with that. And then as we look at the Canadian here, the Canadian is just much warmer. It brings down the 850 low, 850 temperatures down briefly to freezing Sunday afternoon, but then quickly brings it back up. So it's basically a rain event for the Canadian. And then I want to show you that I just wanted to show you that warmer advection type situation here at 850. So see these winds here coming out of the Gulf, these little barbs, and then you get the little flags on them. So this means each one of these barbs is 10 miles an hour. So it's got like a 30-knot jet coming across up into the cold air. And once it does that, once it hits the cold air, the warm air actually will rise up above the cold air, and then you get your precipitation develop. Okay. And next is going to be the precipitation. Go down to winter and precip type. And this is the GFS. You can see here on the GFS, this is Saturday afternoon. And as we head into Sunday morning, you can really see it overtaking. This is 10 a.m. on Sunday. And then as we move across, it's got a mix of snow and sleet and freezing rain across basically St. Louis down, oh, maybe south to Farmington. It's got it that cold. And then it moves off to the east and it brings several inches of snow from St. Louis north. So if that one's right, we'll have something to talk about on Sunday. Now, the gem is basically, like I said, it's much warmer. The green is rain. All the snow is way up in here. You can see it says mainly a rain event. So the GFS says, or the Canadian says no snow. And the European, which doesn't have a precip category here on that site, it does here. But let's go across and let's see what it does here. Now the European is bringing, come on, that's Monday. Okay, there it is. So it's bringing it in. It's again much later, and it's got this mix of purple, and the snow is north of us, and the rain south of us. So it's bringing a mix of rain, a mix of sleet, snow, and freezing rain here to St. Louis for a brief period of time, and then it basically turns into rain. So it gives us a little light, winter event. Then it turns it over to rain as we head into Sunday night. So those are the three different models. You can see they're all different. They're all going to change, and hopefully they'll become more aligned with each other as we head throughout time. And the next thing I just want to show you is just the upper level SKUTs with this, just to kind of show you what they do. And let me get here on Sunday. The GFS is pretty good. It actually shows a pretty good snow here, which it does. Here we go. So this is going to be the SKUT. This is the atmosphere going up. So this is 1,000 millibars. You can see it go up. And this is in feet, 1 kilometer, 3 kilometers, 6 kilometers. And then these are the temperatures, minus 30, minus 20, minus 10. These are all in Celsius. Here's your zero line. It goes up like at a 45-degree angle. It just makes it easier for us to analyze weather when it's angled like that, skewed like that. So this is the GFS. It's saturated all through the column. And even through the DGZ right here, this is the dendritic growth zone here, this yellow piece right here. And the snowflakes are really getting developed up there. And then when it comes down, it stays below freezing. Thus, we have more snow on the GFS. And also on the GFS, I thought this is kind of interesting. Later in the period, it's showing some pretty good upper level lift, like right through here. This on the left is what they call omega, and omega is just another word for vertical velocity. And it's got some pretty good vertical velocity here near where the growth of the snowflakes are. So that would be good for snowflake making. Next, we'll go to the European. This is Canadian, I'm sorry. You can see it's much warmer. It's 36, 37 at the surface. Here's your zero line. And basically, once the precip falls, it's just going to come down as rain. And that's what that shows. And then on the European, we'll go to that. The European starts it later. But here's the European. Again, it starts it off as a very close mix here, 32, 33. And then as we head later into the period, it actually takes it more above freezing. It's still got a little sleet in there as it runs right along the 0 degree line. So you can see the European is really kind of like borderline for St. Louis. It's a 33 degree wet snow, rain, little sleet mix type stuff. But that's kind of what we're looking at right now. Again, this will change, and I'll keep you up to date. Maybe I'll do another update as we head into Friday or Saturday. But that's it for now, and I appreciate you watching, and thank you very much.